Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, it's David here and welcome back to another video. This one is going to be me in front of notes, unscripted video discussing my honest opinion on Persona 3 Reload because I have a lot to say now that I'm about 40 hours in or so, a little over 40 hours. I've been enjoying my time with the game, I've been taking my time with it, but I have a ton that I want to get out there after putting out my first impressions video on the day of release. After spending around 10 hours or so of the game, my opinion on it changed a lot. I have a lot of positive to say, I have a lot of negative to say, and I do want to compare Reload to other versions of the game, so let me just get straight into it. Before I do, I'm right now running a giveaway of Unicorn Overlord. I have a PlayStation 5 American key and a Nintendo Switch key to give away as well, so if you want to enter, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and you can also check out my social medias for an additional M3, so on Twitter, links in the description for subscribers only. And please, if you enter, drop a comment of which key you would like to get on this video, so either a PS5 key for America or a Nintendo Switch key for America. Those keys were provided by ATLUS West themselves, so thanks to them for the codes. Now let's get right into it. I want to talk about the combat first. So I'll be honest, I love it. I love the combat in Reload, my favorite combat in Persona 3, in a Persona 3 game by far. I love the addition of theurgy moves in Reload. I love that there's multiple ones as well for Makoto that you can unlock as you progress through the game, as you try out new fusions. Very, very cool. They look great, they do a lot of different things, and I like it. It makes the combat easier for sure, but it also adds more strategy, and I really do like it. To me, the ability to control your party members is a must, so I love that this is an option here in Reload, and the shift mechanic. So after you hit a weakness, you can shift to another party member. Love, love, love that. One thing that I adored in previous versions of P3, and it's still the case here, is the fact that you have so many party members to pick from. So when you're exploring Tartarus, I tend to jump in and leave once I reach a wall, once I cannot progress further. I don't do it in multiple goes, I do it all at once. So to have multiple party members is fun. So when I have one party member that is, let's say, out of mana, I'm just going to change to another one, out of SP, sorry. So that has always been fun in Reload to me, that you can do that. You can go back to the entrance of Tartarus, change party members, that's a good. That being said, I really got used to the switch party members in combat ability from other ATLUS games like SMT or Persona 5, for example. So that is something that I do miss, but again, the fact that you have so many party members and that you can change them in Tartarus at the entrance makes up for it. The social links. Now, the social links is something that changed a little bit in Reload because ATLUS decided to invest in voice acting for a bunch of these social links that were not voice acted before, or they added voice acting in them, like more voice acting that the original ones had. Now, I'll be honest, that didn't fix them. Persona 3 to me has the most boring social links in modern Persona games. Social links in 4 or better, for Golden, 5 and 5 Royal, again, in my opinion. If you add voice acting to a boring social link like the Gourmet King, for example, it's just boring. It's still boring. The story was mid, so even if it's voiced, it's still mid, again, in my opinion. One thing that I like, though, it's not a social link, but it's a new addition, and I'm gonna call this heart icon activities. So when you're in Iwatodai dorm at night, certain CS party members will have a heart icon over their head, which means that you can spend time with them. You can potentially read a book with Fuko or Mitsuru, or maybe you can cook with Akihiko or take Kohomaru for a walk, for example. Those are cool things that are voiced as well. Great voice acting cast all around. We'll talk about that in just a sec. But honestly, love those new moments, and they also give new passive skills at some point when you're deep in your link with party members. It does not make up for the lack of a social link for certain party members. I love that some party members have social links like Aegis, Yukari, Mitsuru, but I wish there was one for all party members. Those are the most interesting characters in the game, so I really wish that with this remake of P3, they made social links for these characters. We all know and love these characters, and in my opinion, there's no reason why a third re-release of Persona 3 cannot have social links for those characters. I feel like this is a big missed opportunity to make this remake an even better version of P3. Now, there's also a lack of activities in general in Persona 3, and that just was not touched in Reload. It's basically as is. So when you play Persona 5 or Persona 4, it really feels like you have a ton to do and you don't have enough time in the calendar system to do everything. But that's not the case in Persona 3, and it's still not the case in Reload, where I feel when I'm playing that I'm mostly doing the same thing all of the time, right? Especially at night. You have the Devil's Arcana social link that you can go through at Polomnia Mall, but at some point you're gonna max it out. That was the first social link that I maxed out. And other than that, well, you can work at the cafe, you can do karaoke, eat a burger, play at the arcade, study, and of course you have the new added stuff in Iwato Dai Dorm, but it's still kind of like, it's not as exciting as other Persona games in my opinion. Tartarus though, Tartarus changed a little bit and for the better. Still boring, sadly, in my opinion. Now, they added a bunch of items to collect. You can destroy pillars that give you items that you can then sell afterwards. Cool, a little thing that helps a little bit with the repetitiveness of Tartarus. There's a lot of chests as well, 2 different types of chests. Again, little additions that help a little bit, but it's not a lot. Otherwise, it's still the randomly generated, boring looking floors. They did not fix Tartarus in Reload for me. It's still the same gameplay loop. It's fun though. It kind of is fun. It's not boring, but it makes me want to go back to Persona 5 dungeons even more. And Persona 4 Golden isn't much better than Reload in my opinion when it comes to the dungeons, but at least the additions to the combat and the ability to swap party members at all times when you go back to the entrance of Tartarus makes it a little more fun, but it's definitely still very boring to explore Tartarus in my opinion. My favorite new addition in Reload though are the Monad doors. Those are doors that you can find on certain floors, and when you explore them you get a new mini boss that you can fight to get a great reward from a chest at the end, or sometimes you even get the ability to instantly level up a party member or 2 to Makoto's level, to the protagonist's level, and sometimes you'll get like 4, 5, 6 levels out of this. That is really, really dope. Feels rewarding to complete those Monad doors. I love the new spells and abilities that they gave the Navigator Fuka as well. Helps with exploration, helps in battle as well. You can boost your party before a battle or discover the enemy weakness instantly on the second turn. Very, very dope. So overall, I'd just say those additions to Tartarus are all good additions, but as I said before when I said I don't think Persona 3 needs a remake, my main argument was even if they fully remake Persona 3, Tartarus still has to be there. And the concept of Tartarus is a huge ass tower that you have to climb. There was no way to make it more interesting than they did. So they did a good job. It's Persona 3 at its heart and Tartarus at its heart that is sadly not that fun to explore. Now, we recently got the reveal of the expansion pass for Persona 3 Reload. I made a video on the ATLUS news episode discussing that, of course, but I do want to get my opinion out there more than I did in that video. So I think Persona 3 Reload as a $70 game, to make it clear, is worth it. I'm going to spend over 60 hours playing that game. I'm very confident, and it's good enough for me to justify a $70 price point. Now, pricing is subjective, right? For some people, it can be worth it. For others, it won't be, and that's okay. For me, it is. That being said, it is the third re-release of Persona 3, and I'm counting Persona 3, the original on PS2. That is your original game. It was re-released as FES on PS2, and then it was re-released as portable on PSP. I'm not going to count re-releases of those 2 versions, so Persona 3 Reload is the third version of Persona 3, and they're still charging us $30 for an expansion pass, and most importantly, $20 for the Answer episode which was in the original version of Persona 3. So that is a huge bummer at the end of the day. So if you want to play a game that has the content from both Persona 3 and FES, you have to spend $70 plus $20 for the Answer, or roughly $20 for the Answer. So that would make Reload as a complete package a $90 game, which to me is unacceptable, especially as a third re-release of Persona 3. I'm not gonna be very loud about this because I'm not a huge fan of the Answer. I think they're trying to change stuff from what I've seen in the trailer. I doubt it's gonna be enough to make it fun to me, so for that reason, we'll have to wait and see when it comes to the answer. It releases in September. I'll probably check it out once it's a little cheap if I don't have much else to play around that time, but I don't think I'll be there day one, to be completely honest with y'all. So, in conclusion, me being honest about Persona 3 Reload, I mean, the combat additions, the addition of activities with SEES party members, the improved visuals, the fantastic soundtrack and voice acting makes Reload my favorite version of Persona 3, but again, due to all the issues that I listed today, it's still nowhere near the top of my list for favorite ATLUS games and even Persona games, if I'm being honest, and it feels weird to say because I really wanted this remake of Persona 3 to prove me wrong, to tell me that yes, Persona 3 does indeed need a remake. It's a great re-release. It's a re-release that is doing fantastically well for ATLUS. I'm glad it's out there and I'm having fun playing it, don't get me wrong, but I think I was right saying that a Persona 3 remake won't fix the big issues that were there in the original version of Persona 3, and today I have the feeling after playing 40 hours that I was correct in that front. So please tell me what you think of this discussion today. I have a feeling not everyone's gonna agree with me, and honestly, as long as you're respectful, that's okay with me. You don't have to agree. You are entitled to your own opinion, and that is totally fine. So don't forget to enter the giveaway by subscribing and commenting on this video for a chance to win a code for Unicorn Overlord. Otherwise, make sure to ring that notification bell if you want to stay up to date on all things ATLUS news. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. You have a great day. Bye.